Hi, my name is Jaimee-Lee, and today we're going to be exploring the concept of stereotypes. Stereotypes is defined as a collection of attributes that often co-occur in people. It involves making a summary of a person based on a small number of observations. To illustrate this concept, I'll be using the artwork from a well-known Indigenous Australian artist, Mauboy. Before we dive into that, let's look at me as an example of stereotypes. I've got blue eyes, blonde hair, Caucasian skin, an Australian accent, and my dress is not unique to any cultural traditions. This must mean I fit into an Australian stereotype, right? So obviously I ride a kangaroo to work, eat Vegemite for every meal, and love a good 4x gold while cooking shrimp on the barbie. This example demonstrates how a small number of observations can lead to misconceptions and often offend a person and their cultural background. Books, photographs, movies and television have shaped society's idea on what it is meant to be Indigenous. These media stereotypes have been influenced by individuals within dominant groups who are unfamiliar with the diversity of Indigenous communities. Leading Indigenous professional Dr. Chris Zara conducted research which observed the negative words used by non-Indigenous Australians to describe Aboriginal people. These words included lazy, aggressive, welfare dependent, drunks, and disrespectful. Indigenous women who challenge these stereotypes include Olympic athlete Cathy Freeman, actor Deborah Malman, and of course, the artist Jessica Mauboy. All three of these ladies have not let their identity disadvantage them due to imposed negative stereotypes. Australian artist Jessica Mauboy is known for her singing and has directly related segments of her work to her own Indigenous identity. An interview with the ABC describes how Mauboy wrote the song Sea of Flags for the Eurovision contest as a tribute to her heritage. The connection is seen within the lyrics, dancing through an ancient dreaming, talking about the Dreamtime stories from her Indigenous community, and the southern stars over golden sands, our crazy hearts have come as one in a sea of flags. Within this verse, Mauboy is recognising Australian symbolism and challenging negative attributes that form a stereotype by saying that all Australians, no matter whether they carry an Aboriginal, Australian or Torres Strait Islander flag, have all formed a united front. Mauboy has also played in the 2012 film The Sapphires, which is a fantastic example of women challenging and breaking Indigenous stereotypes. Indigenous stereotypes are either romanticised, which means to make something seem unrealistic or more appealing, or demonised, which is associated with ideologies and negative connotations, and they tend to be pretty gender specific. As seen within the movie, their manager romanticised the lady's identity by changing their name from the traditional Aboriginal name, which nobody could pronounce, to the Sapphires, and changed their appearance from this to this. Jessica Mauboy's artistic pedagogy allows her to challenge the stereotypes of Aboriginal women by creating 4 inspiring women who did not allow negative tropes to disadvantage them or their dream of becoming famous. Dr. Zara also discovered that stereotypes impact on the individual by Indigenous people accepting these qualities and echoing these descriptions. An example of this is seen within the movie. Let's take a look now.
What's his problem? It's because we're black, stupid. No, it's because you're ugly.
The second lady is seen to be challenging the stereotypes and not allowing her skin colour to influence her perceptions of what others think of her. Now let me enlighten you as to why stereotyping Indigenous peoples is such an issue. Firstly, inaccurate stereotyping denotes what is authentic and inauthentic ways of being Indigenous, and this can lead to dominant groups receiving funding, resulting in marginalised individuals missing out. Secondly, culturally significant items get misused, which can offend fellow Indigenous peoples. And thirdly, stereotyping can sabotage the potential of Indigenous individuals, leading them to low self-efficacy and underachieving at school. When faced with adversity, a student can lose motivation if they believe that they cannot achieve. Indigenous stereotypes may not be as extreme as they were in the past. However, the subtlety still occurs, and it is up to us as fellow Australians to combat negative labels and address mainstream perceptions. The ideal way to do this in the classroom is through the use of Indigenous art and drawing upon its importance within our society. Stereotypes can affect our youth of tomorrow by disadvantaging their motivation, potential and strengths. As a teacher, we need to be addressing the individual needs of our children, not the stereotypical needs of some children. We need to leave our virtual backpacks at the door and embrace the culture and diversity of each child, allowing us to mentor them, and for them to shape us as a teacher in a growing society. After all, our future students have the world at their feet and could one day flourish into an inspiring artist, just like Jessica Mauboy did.
La, la,